queues on the streets outside shops and supermarkets as citizens across Europe try and prepare during the coronavirus outbreak. But somewhere you're not particularly seeing crowds are on aeroplanes. Have a look at this image uploaded to Twitter by a CBS reporter, Seth Doan, on his way back to Rome. After boarding, you can see that this airplane was practically a ghost flight. Now, we know that there have been a number of restrictions and suspensions across Europe from airlines, the likes of British Airways and Norwegian Airways, both suspending flights to Italy, and a number of others saying there will be reduced capacity across the continent. But airlines are still flying out these ghost flights. Now, why is that? Well, it's all because of this EU rule called use it or lose it. Essentially, airlines have to keep up 80% of their slots or timed flights, otherwise they will lose out to competitors and lose their presence at key European transport hubs. Now, this rule, of course, means that airlines are trying to keep up these flights just to try and maintain economic sustainability in the future. But of course, this has a huge environmental impact, with the likes of Greenpeace UK saying that the fact that these airlines are having to fly out ghost flights, well, it is absurd. And these calls have been echoed by a number of key figures within the European Parliament. The Transport Commission President, Karima Delli, also writing a letter to the European Commission saying that the ghost flights rule is both ecologically and economically nonsense. Now, the European Commission have responded to this. Ursula von der Leyen gave a press conference today announcing exactly what the EU would be putting into place.
We want to make it easier for airlines to keep their airport slot, even if they do not operate flights in those slots because of the declining traffic. This is a temporary measure, and this temporary measure helps both our industry, but it also helps our environment. It will relieve the pressure on the aviation industry and in particular on smaller airline companies, but it will also decrease emissions by avoiding the so-called ghost flights.
Now, the European Union has brought in this temporary action before, during the SARS outbreak of 2003 and also during the financial crisis of 2008. And the response to this latest announcement from the European Commission has been largely positive. The likes of the International Air Transport Association saying that it is a good thing that the EU is considering this waiver rule on airport slots. But they say that airlines need an urgent clarity so they can adjust capacity for better financial and environmental sustainability. So, Ollie, the EU say they will be taking action, but many people saying that this needs to happen as soon as possible.